Welcome back to Insecurity. We are at CES 2020. We are in the BlackBerry booth where there's all kinds of cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, Brian Robison, the Chief Evangelist, but you are also working with a really interesting group. You are working with BlackBerry Labs, and we've talked with some of them, getting up to some really interesting things, but your perspective, coming in from the Cylance side, why don't you tell us what BlackBerry Labs is up to?
These guys, Matt, these guys are building some of the coolest stuff I think I've ever seen. And it's really cool because it's taking all of the different pieces that BlackBerry actually has and bringing it to actual use cases and fruition. And so, behind us you'll be able to see Cylance technology used in multiple different elements in this car right here, and actually being able to do things like determine the driver who's in it without cameras, without facial recognition, just how they touch the steering wheel, how they touch the pedals, all those kind of things. And you might ask yourself, well, why is it important to identify who's in the car, right?
Why is it important to identify who's in the car?
Well, let's say you're like me and you've got a daughter who's just learning how to drive.
She's 9, by the way.
No, she's not 9, she's 16 now. It's crazy, I didn't know I was that old, but anyway, being able to take a very, very powerful machine like the cars today and be able to limit some of their capabilities to be appropriate for a teenage driver who's just learning. Maybe it's horsepower, maybe it's speed, maybe it's you want to make sure you track their location. Even things like volume on the stereo, other things like that are, that can be distractions to a less experienced driver. So not just being able to identify based upon the key that you have in the car or the fob you have, but actually the driver themselves, right? So let's say they get in the car with Dad's key. Do they get all of Dad's rights to the car? Well, with Cylance Persona in the operating system of the vehicle, the vehicle actually identifies who the driver is, even though they may not be using the same key fob. So it is a really kind of a cool implementation of how to have the car identify who I am as a driver, and then be able to tailor the vehicle to the rights that I need to have. Or let's say you give the key to a valet at your favorite restaurant. Should that valet be able to do the Ferris Bueller?
I took the word right out of my mouth.
Take off in the convertible and put 100 miles on the car? No. You might limit the car to like 2-mile driving radius and at 25 miles an hour because it's an unknown driver.
Yeah.
So those are really cool technologies to be able to utilize that. And we're showing that right here at the booth today. We're showing this car detecting different drivers based upon how you're touching it.
Now, BlackBerry acquired Cylance under a year ago. We got 6 more weeks to the 1-year anniversary.
Weeks, yep.
But this is happening. This is not something that we're we hope to do this. This is one of our projects. This is in place.
Yep.
It's in this car. It's up on that wall.
Yeah, up on the wall. You see this architecture slide? This isn't marketing. This is reality of what we're showing today. We're showing this car right here being able to defend itself against a malware hack. And we're not just throwing fake Android malware at it. We're throwing Iranian APT unknown malware at this car, and it is defending itself against real world types of attacks.
Now, you're a forward-thinking kind of guy. You've been working with this team, doing some cool automotive stuff. I know you're a hands-on builder type. What do you want to get your hands on next? We get 150 million endpoints when we talk about automotive. We've been looking at air taxis and people movers, and I'm sure there's a teleportation machine here. But what's the thing you're thinking, man, that's the one I want to do something with?
I don't know. I just, what I'm seeing now is implementation of Cylance AI into different elements that we really never thought we'd ever get into before as Cylance, right? Stuart McClure's vision of protecting everything under the sun with BlackBerry is actually becoming a reality. We actually have Cylance running in cars. We have Cylance running in drones. We have Cylance running in Wi-Fi access points and all these things now because of this. So what really excites me is to see the innovation that we built as Cylance, that you and I have been part of trying to teach people about for the past few years, coming into just about every element of our lives. Whether it's cars or bikes or whatever it is, it's just cool to start seeing that level of advanced protection become a reality.
It is very cool. Something else that's cool, you are all over the world doing stuff, evangelizing, being the chief of all those things. If people are looking for you, I know you're not super active on Twitter, but you're out there a little bit, but I know you're a LinkedIn guy. Where people, Brian, the people, where can they find it?
Yeah, you can always find me LinkedIn, Brian Robison with the number 1 at the end.
In our hearts.
Yep. And on Twitter, Cylance SecTech, Security Technology. That's where you can reach me, and love to have you be part of the team.
See, this is what we're talking about. As always, you can find the rest of the good stuff on BlackBerry.com, as well as at BlackBerry and at Cylance Inc. on Twitter. I am Matt Stevenson. Look for me at PacMat73. At CES, we're finding all the cool stuff. Come find us.